Hi there. I'm Dr. Jeff Faunce, an Associate Professor of Education here at Medaille College, and we've been asked to record some quick videos to talk about our programs. This particular video is going to be about our grades B through 6 undergraduate education program. As I said, I'm Dr. Jeff Faunce. What's your name? No kidding. I love that name. We almost named our child that. Where are you from? Really? That's amazing. I love that place. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, let's talk about our program. Our program prepares you to be certified grades B through 6. Now that means it's 2 certifications, B through 2 and 1 through 6. Now that's an important piece because as you're out there looking for a school to continue your education and become a teacher, you want to ask to be sure what certification areas the program leads to. Just to be clear, we don't certify you, New York State certifies you, but we do recommend you for certification. And when you get those 2 certificates, grades B through 6, that gives you a lot more flexibility in terms of where you can teach. And as a former principal like I am, that means when it comes to arranging my staff, it gives you a lot more possibilities. So you want to make sure you do that. Let's talk about the rest of the program. Our program is 132 credits, and one of the things that we did just a few years ago is we changed from having our undergraduate elementary students have a concentration to a generalist model. What does that mean? Well, it means that instead of saying you're going to be in elementary education concentrating in math, you take courses in all of the subjects that you're going to be teaching: math, science, English, and social studies. And the reason we did that is because, as you probably know, elementary teachers teach a little bit of everything. And so you would go outside of our department and you would take classes that will prepare you for those things that you're going to be teaching and for all of the different assessments and things that New York State makes you do in order to get certified. So that's another thing, is we are a generalist model. One of the interesting things about our program, it is driven by the fact that New York State says you have to have 150 hours of what they call clinical field experience before you student teach. What that means is, before you get to the culminating experience, you have to have hours in schools with students and teachers. So what we have done is taken the majority of those hours and we have integrated them into classes that you take throughout your program. For instance, this semester I'm teaching junior participation, and it's connected to one of our literacy classes. So those 2 classes take place in a local elementary school. And what happens is the students take this literacy class first. There's a classroom in the school before the students arrive for their regular school day. Then they go out into the schools for about 2 hours and they work with teachers and they work with students. And then they come back to my class, which also takes place in the elementary school, and then we talk about their experiences and we do our classes. So a lot of those 150 hours required by New York State are integrated into the classroom, so you do them as a group. And so we're going to help you a lot with those. So that's another important part of our program. People ask all the time about class size. That's kind of hard to say. Right now, the cohort in B through 6 that we have out student teaching has 10 students. My class has 9. So I would say that's about right, between 10 and 15. 20 would be the maximum that you would have within the Department of Education. When you go out to your other classes in the other departments, your general eds and things like that, which admissions can tell you about, it might be a little larger, but I would hazard a guess that you would never have a class that would be over 25 students. Let's talk a little bit about student teaching. As I said, that's the culminating experience of our program. Usually takes place the second semester of the senior year. There are 2 8-week placements. We try to do 1 B through 2 and 1 through 6, so you get that entire experience. We try very hard to have that experience occur somewhere close to home. Can't always guarantee it, but we try to do our best. What's kind of cool is what happens is sometimes one of our students will meet a teacher during their field placement, really hit it off with that teacher, and request that teacher for student teaching, and we try our best to connect those 2 people. You will fill out a preference and that kind of stuff about where you student teach. As I mentioned, it's 132 credits. One of the hardest parts is that there are a lot of things that New York State mandates that we take, and so it's a pretty packed schedule. Some students do some classes over the summer. You don't have to, but some do. That's kind of your preference. But another part of our program that is pretty important is that we guarantee your classes. What does that mean? That means once you start, you will always have the classes that you need as you progress through the program. I don't know if other schools do that. That would be something for you to ask when you're out there trying to find out where you're going to continue your education. Another important thing about our program is almost all of us in the Department of Education are former teachers, former administrators. I'm both, but so that's an important thing because we're going to tell you what really happens in schools. We're going to give you the real information about how to be a teacher and what it means to be a teacher. So that's another thing that you want to ask as you're looking for a place to continue your education. We also have a very active Future Teachers Club. They do a lot of activities, not just for our students, like faculty, professional development and things like that, but they reach out to the community. We also have some fun activities. There's a very active club that goes along with all the other clubs on campus, which I'm sure the admissions department can tell you about. So now, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk to your parent or guardian for just a second. Can you go find them? I can wait. Are they gone? Okay, I wanted to make sure I told you something. You probably have heard from Medaille College that students don't slip through the cracks here. I want you to know that in the Department of Education, that's really true. We're going to know your student, we're going to know their name, we're going to hold them accountable, but we're also going to help them through this entire process. It's difficult, and there are a lot of challenges along the way, but I promise you that we're going to be with them every step of the way. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, you can bring the student back. Hey, you're back. How are you? All right. Don't worry about what I was just talking to them about. It's not important. The final thing I want to tell you is that it sounds kind of hokey, but here in the Department of Education and at Medaille College, we're a family, and we'd really like you to become part of our family. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email or call. My email is jfaunce@medaille.edu. My office is 716-880-2813. In the midst of this crazy time, that's actually forwarded to my cell phone. You're not imposing. It makes me feel important when people ask me questions. But if you have any questions about anything, please don't hesitate to call. Or if you want to jump in on a class one time and we can invite you in as our virtual classes, we'd love to have you to kind of see what it's really like. So again, we'd love for you to join our education family. Best of luck to you in these crazy times. Please be safe, be healthy, and please be kind to each other. Thanks a lot. Nice to meet you.